The secret of growing is not to fail. We all fail. Tzaddik, it says, fall 7 times at least. So don't get crazy if you fail. It's a normal human being thing to do. In the physical world, before you walk, you probably fail 200-300 times. You bang your knee, you bang your head, you bang your shoulder, you bang this. You're a little kid. Before you talk a whole word, you probably talk thousands of syllables that make no sense until you're able to get them together. All the things that a human being does, it takes a long time to do it. To do math, to do English, to do your script, it doesn't happen. An animal right away, he's born right away. He eats. If he's a cow, you can milk it. Whatever they do in their life, there's no process of growth. There's no process of failing. But us as human beings, we fail when we're born. We can't walk. We can't talk. We can't do anything. We're a total failure. We are born a total failure. Nothing. I held Baruch Hashem, they're very cute, and that's why Hashem made them cute. Because otherwise, total failure, I don't want anything to do with you. But Hashem made babies little cute. Imagine if babies were born 5'4", 5'6". Crying in the middle of the night, go cry. Get yourself your own drink, I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. Hashem made them very cute, but the truth is, he's born a failure. He can do nothing. Zero. Can't talk, can't walk, can't do math, can't do nothing. All he can do is his diaper. And then you have to change him. He does nothing. So Hashem created us to fail. And then to grow. And to crawl. And then to walk. And then to fall. And that's how a person grows. He doesn't expect us to be perfect. But from your failure, if you're able to stand up, and you're able to grow from that failure, from the snake bite, you are able to grow. You know what? That's the only way you can grow. The only way for true growth is to have failed and to have overcome, because then you know that you can overcome. Otherwise, you don't know. Maybe if that test comes to me, I won't be able to. Doesn't mean you should go looking for tests. You'll get enough coming without you looking for it. Hashem has the whole thing set up for us. You don't have to look for it. There's no question. All the things in my life, I just tell you from my own experience, all the things that I stopped, and there was a lot of stuff. I was brought up, I watched television, and I went to the movies, and I listened to rock and roll. I was a regular kid in those days. I did all that stuff, and I was a big television watcher. Because my head is, as you can tell by now, is a very fictional head. And a very so I sat there, and of course all my friends thought I was some kind of weirdo, and I watched Star Trek, and I watched Star Wars, and I read Tolkien, and I was very into the other world, and the middle world, and the other world, and all kinds of fiction, and it's not a boys thing to watch fiction. They all thought I was nuts. I was like, let's go see Star Wars. They're like, that's the one movie we're not going to. And how did I give all that up? I just woke up one morning and said, God, that's it. No movies, no television, no rock and roll. It's all done. It's impossible. You can't do that. And if you do that, it won't last. I started with one thing. I'm not watching television anymore. Very hard for me. And I failed. I said I wasn't watching anymore, but then the Giants win the Super Bowl. So, Hashem, you don't really care if I watch sports. Then once I watched the Giants, there was a science fiction show after that, and I failed. And then I tried again, and I failed again. And I tried again, and finally I was able to give up television. Now I said to myself, 1 second, Meshugana, television, I lived. Mamash. I used to see it till 2 o'clock at night. I needed it. I had all the excuses. I had to unwind, and I need it, and it's good for me, and if I watch at night, I can learn better in the morning. Don't ask how that works, but, I'm relaxed. I had all those stories. When I finally gave that up, right? I gave up my failures because you can't give it up in one shot. I finally gave that up. I said, wow, if I could do that, let me try movies. Maybe I could do movies. Television, movies, the same thing. Maybe, but my friends go, and when we're going to do Matzi Shabbos, this is my private thing. My friends don't know I give up television, but now I have to tell them I don't go to movies. They're going to give me what happened you get from, and when you think you're better than us, and we get that whole thing, and I really want to get that whole thing, and I got that whole thing. And it was yes, and it was no, and it was only certain kind of movies and that. And finally, from the failing of the television and winning, I was able to stop the movies. And then came rock and roll. To me, I'm a musician. That was like, I had all the excuses that everybody has. It doesn't affect you. It's just music. Who cares who wrote it? Who cares what? I'm listening to it. I learned Gemara, and I can listen to Gaelic music. Doesn't affect me. And why do I have to give that up? And it was probably of all the things. Now, I'm sure that's not to everyone like that, but I'm a musician, and I was deep into Chas v'Shalom, not rap. It didn't exist in my day. It wouldn't have couldn't have existed in my day. The dirtiest word that was ever used was the English word for Gehenna, and they took that off. They took that off because you couldn't use such a word in music. Yeah, you couldn't use such a word. The English word for Gehenna, which you find translated in art school, no, you took them off the air. You understand? So to me, I was like, Zeppelin, this, that, all this stuff. It doesn't have an effect on me. I don't have a bunch of chayas screaming, kill them, then bill them, then chill them, and then will them, and everything rhymes, and destroy the whole world. And I didn't have that at all, right? And it was a very big struggle because my Yetzer Hara said, "No, come hang out with me. There's nothing wrong. The words are clean." And I looked at the strength of television, and I looked at the strength of movies, and I said, "Tina Turner, it's over. All your tapes are out the window. Led Zeppelin, you're gone. The Doors, you're finished. The Beatles, it's out of here." And then I said, "But now where am I going? What music am I going to listen to?" And I got my first Shlomo Carlebach tape, and I'm like, I'm going back to the other music. And there was a very big void, because the Yetzer Hara does a very good job, because Goyish music has the beat, it's cool, it's got the words, it's got everything, and he's selling a great product. He's got lamb chops and scotch and everything that you need. And then I searched, and I said, I won't listen to rock and roll, but I'm going to listen to Yanni, because it sounds Jewish, and I went to a concert, but he's not Jewish, and it's not Jewish, and it doesn't have holy words in it. So, but, I stayed there for a while. It's a fight, girls. You don't win right away. It's a fight. How did I stop listening to rock and roll? And I'm a musician, and I have a lot of respect for Jewish music. Really, Shreki's great, they're all great. But from a musician standpoint of view, it's different. It's very different. So how did I give up rock and roll? And of course, every time you go to CBS, they're playing the one song I love. It's, they haven't worked out. I call a business, and the phone is on hold, and it's like, how did they know my favorite song? Like, why is that playing? You understand? And it's a fight, and it's a fight. But you know how I got rid of my non-Jewish music? Because I got rid of my television, and I got rid of my movies. So my struggles with those became my anti-venom. When a snake bites you, the only thing that can save you is the anti-venom. The anti-venom is made from the venom. The thing that saves you is the thing that bit you. Your growth comes, I don't know, Ezra Max was saying some lines over there, everybody was writing, I couldn't follow him, but I'll tell you a line. Your growth comes from your struggle, comes from your failure. That's from your real growth, because if you can say no to something, then you can take the next step and say no to something else. And that's what Hashem said in this week's parsha. So Moshe Rabbeinu, the snake bit them. Let them look at the snake. And the snake that they're looking at, if they can overcome and they can do tshuva on what they said, and they can look past the snake to me, that will be their refuah. This is all part of life. This is all part of growth. No one's perfect. Everyone has to go through their stuff. Use your struggles to grow. And that's why he didn't put a Sefer Torah up on that pole, because the Sefer Torah wouldn't have helped them. That's not what bit them. The television bit them, the movie bit them, the snake bit them. Therefore, they had to stare it down. They had to stare at it and say, you're what took me down, but by me beating you, that's my anti-venom, that's my strength. May Hashem give everyone here and the whole Klal Yisrael the strength to do tshuva, to get close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and when we see Mashiach, and the end of that Yetzer Hara and the Satan, and may nobody in Klal Yisrael, Chas v'Shalom, be cut off, but just the opposite, everyone in Klal Yisrael should be connected. Hatzlacha Rabbi.